So I made a bit of a discovery today that I understand, I believe I've discovered the nexus. When I say the nexus, meaning the origination of this bullshit term, hip-hop culture. I believe I know where it comes from. I believe, after just being in Brooklyn today, that hip-hop culture and any other type of music, well, I mean, it's twofold. Obviously, hip-hop is nothing new. Black people have been rhyming and rapping over music since the 20s with stride piano and speakeasy. So hip-hop music is nothing that I really want to say is like new. All right? But the whole notion of hip-hop culture comes from a lack of our communities, the lack of the people in our communities owning the businesses in our communities. Everything about the aura and the emotion of hip-hop music comes from people not owning or not controlling the economics in their own community. I remember in Long Island, where I grew up in Westbury, there was a lot of people in the mafia in Westbury, in that little neighborhood. You would drive past people's houses, you would see Gambino on the mailboxes, right? That was very common, right? The John Gotti kids, they used to work out at the same gym, right? A lot of the guys that I went to high school with, this one kid, his father was in the mafia, he got murdered, and whatever, I don't want to talk about him, but the Italians had all these pizzerias on the main road, Post Avenue, that went through Westbury. And one time, about when I was young in high school, some Jamaicans moved in and put a Jamaican restaurant on Post Avenue, and the Italians burnt it to the ground. Burnt it to the ground. Yet, in the black community, the black people, the Jamaicans in Brooklyn, love to spend their money with if you're down Nostrand Ave and in that area, literally nobody that's black owned the businesses there. And the more everyone else in a community owns the businesses in that community other than black people, the more decrepit and cracked out and smoked out and just literally destroyed the black people walk around are. You see them, and that's where hip-hop music comes from. Hip-hop music comes out of those deprived neighborhoods. Black people celebrate those neighborhoods. Every rapper that makes popular, like Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Do or Die. Bed-Stuy, Do or Die is just another way of saying that none of the black people in Bed-Stuy own the businesses in Bed-Stuy. Any neighborhood that hip-hop music has popularized is because the black people in that community don't own jack shit in that community as far as the businesses. That's what hip-hop music is. It's a celebration of a lack of black business and black business ownership. Yet, and still, you would think that this is obvious, right? You would think that this is obvious, but yet and still, the black principals and superintendents in neighborhoods like Brooklyn, the Bronx, they sit there, they talk out the side of their ass. When I talk to them on the phone about how they want to do something about it, it's obvious that teaching entrepreneurship is the answer, yet they don't want to do shit. I'm convinced that, I'm going to calm down, I'm convinced that the correctional facilities are paying them under the table bonuses to undereducate black children to keep this going. I have no other choice but to, why do I have to be telling you in 2024 and you not responding that entrepreneurship is something that you need to put in the public schools? Why does that not get through their head? I heard a story that some of the superintendents, now that the public schools are looking like they're going to be my official enemies, some of the superintendents, Scholastic and companies like Scholastic pay them, send them to trips, so they don't care if the products from Scholastic are not doing right by black children. They just worried about their trip and their back end, because a lot of superintendents go into politics after they use up their time as a superintendent. And what are politics about? Political contributions and lobbyists, right? So when they're superintendents in these public schools, I'm starting to believe that that's what they're doing, practicing. Because why is it so difficult for you to get through your thick head that teaching black children entrepreneurship will increase the overall economic landscape of the community if you care? If you care. So my reasoning for doing this video is that black parents, if you don't walk into your superintendent and principal's office and threaten their life, your children are going to die in squalor. You have to do it. You cannot trust your principal and the superintendent to save the life of your children. That's what I wanted to get on here and say. So I guess we don't like each other anymore.